To the deep dive. We've got a really fascinating document here today. It's a confidential business framework for a company looking to basically rewire how cities work across Africa. Our mission today, let's take this high-level plan, cut through the jargon, and really understand the strategy behind it all.
Exactly.
Mm.
We're diving into Ubuntu Go. It's billed as Africa's, well, premier all-in-one mobility and lifestyle super app. And they're aiming for a big launch, October 2025. It's incredibly ambitious. Even the name tells you something straight away.
That's a great starting point. The name, Ubuntu. It's powerful, isn't it?
It really is. Ubuntu, it's that Inguni philosophy, right?
Yeah.
Humanity towards others, or I am because we are. Choosing that name, it's a very deliberate signal about interconnectedness and that philosophy. It directly maps onto their core strategy.
Ah, okay. Building an integrated ecosystem.
Precisely, where transport, delivery, all these services, they aren't separate things anymore. They work together seamlessly.
Okay, let's unpack that ecosystem then, because the range of services here, I mean, it suggests they're not just after one market. They want the whole sort of urban utility belt. Let's break down these 5 core services they're launching with. Maybe start with the ones you'd expect.
Right, so the foundation is mobility, obviously. Affordable rides, but powered by AI for optimizing routes, fares, that kind of thing.
Standard enough to start. What's next?
Second and third, you've got the transactional stuff, fast food delivery, and they're partnering broadly there, from big chains right down to local kitchens, plus on-demand package delivery.
Okay, those 3 feel pretty standard for super apps globally. But the 4th one adds a twist.
Yeah, the AI-powered personal assistant. It handles voice commands, complex trip planning, gives you those hyper-local recommendations. That's about making the app sticky, keeping you in it.
And then number 5, this is the one that made me do a double take reading the framework.
Yeah. Free in-app Netflix access.
Free Netflix.
Yeah. You can stream movies, shows, whatever, while you're waiting for your ride or during it. No active subscription needed on your end.
That just sounds like an incredible cost to absorb. I mean, they frame it as bridging the digital entertainment divide. But strategically, why? Is Netflix subsidizing this, or is there something else going on?
Well, it looks like a really smart, data-driven play for ecosystem lock-in. Yes, it's a great perk for the user, obviously.
Right.
But it also keeps the user in the app for much longer. By offering that high-value entertainment, Ubuntu Go gets way more granular usage data.
Ah, okay, like how long you stay, where you use it.
Exactly, which neighborhoods have higher engagement, all that stuff.
Right.
And that data feeds directly back into their AI, making their route optimization, their personalization, potentially much, much better than competitors who just see movement data.
So it's basically a data capture strategy dressed up as a really nice consumer perk. Clever, and the target market is huge. The framework reminds us Africa's urban population is set to pass 700 million by 2030. That's an environment just crying out for integrated, locally relevant solutions.
And if you connect that to their bigger vision, their continental mission is really explicit. They want to unify mobility in Africa, drive economic inclusion, empowering local vendors, drivers, and foster that Pan-African connectivity. They're betting everything on the idea that fragmentation is the real enemy here.
Right. And compared to, say, Uber, Bolt, Jumia food players who mostly operate in their own lanes, Ubuntu Go looks like the first big attempt at a truly integrated AI-first platform built specifically for the African context.
That's it. They're seeing that integration gap as their primary competitive advantage.
But this whole model, this integration, it really hinges on trust, doesn't it? Especially in complex urban settings, safety has to be paramount. Let's dig into the protocols they've laid out. The role of AI here seems to go way beyond just finding the quickest route.
Yeah, and this raises a really important point. How do you actually use technology to guarantee not just efficiency, but real security? The AI's job here is to establish a clear baseline for what a normal ride looks like. It's not just watching the route.
Okay, so what does it watch for?
It detects things like sudden, unexplained deviations, or if the car stays still too long in weird places, or even if communication drops abnormally. If any of those things spike, the system flags it immediately, escalates the risk.
That predictive monitoring sounds pretty advanced, but it's backed up by some serious human checks too, right? The driver vetting looks intense, I'm seeing here. Must be 21 plus, 25 plus for premium or school runs, 3 years experience minimum, clean record.
Oh yeah, the vetting is thorough. It's a 2-stage interview process. First a virtual screening, then you've got this mandatory in-person or video role play. And that role play specifically tests de-escalation, how they handle disputes, emergency safety stuff.
And even after they're hired, there's that probation.
A 60-day probation, yeah. The AI is constantly monitoring their driving behavior, and they need a 4.5 plus rating just to pass probation and stay on the platform.
Wow. And for the user side, the safety features seem just as robust. Every ride has that emergency SOS button.
That's right, instant connection to local police and Ubuntu Go's own 247 safety team. Plus, it automatically triggers continuous audio and video recording through the app at the same time.
And they've got specialized stuff too, like for kids.
Yes, the secure child transport or school run service. Only drivers with the absolute highest level of vetting can do those runs. And there's a check-in, check-out system, so only pre-approved guardians can handle the pickups and drop-offs.
Okay, but the thing that really stood out in the documentation was the luxury tier safety. I mean, it mentions optional bullet-resistant glass. Seriously.
Yeah, that detail definitely catches the eye. And things like silent SOS buttons, remote engine kill switches.
That's not standard ride-hailing tech.
No, it's not. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it points to a very deliberate strategy for the high-end market. Think executives, diplomats, high-net-worth individuals, government contracts. Those segments demand that level of security, and they pay much higher margins than a standard ride. It justifies the extra cost for those top vehicle tiers.
Right. It acknowledges those specific, sometimes high-risk security needs in certain markets across the continent. But safety, as you said, it's got to be a two-way street. How are they protecting the drivers?
Good question. They've put measures in place there too. Things like mandatory pickup verification. Passengers have to confirm their ID and phone number before the ride starts. Sometimes even a pre-ride selfie if the booking looks potentially risky.
And AI helps the driver, too.
Yeah, AI alerts warn drivers about dynamic risks like sudden issues in an area, and they use geofenced no-go zones, places where bookings are just blocked unless there's a manual override.
And crucially, support if something does happen. The framework mentions free counseling and legal aid for drivers after an incident. That feels essential for gig workers in potentially tough situations.
Absolutely. It builds loyalty and shows they're serious about driver welfare.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly, moving from safety to the money side. The economic model seems like the absolute linchpin for getting drivers on board. I mean, look at this commission structure.
The radical, isn't it?
15%. That just undercuts the standard industry rate by a huge margin. They're promising higher take-home pay, 15% commission on standard rides versus the usual 25, even 30%. And for things like school runs or corporate jobs, it drops even lower, just 10%.
That is a massive hit to their margin per ride. Are the sources clear on how they make that work financially? I mean, giving up 10 to 15 percentage points, they must need incredible volume, fast, or rely heavily on other revenues.
That seems to be the bet. The document implies it's two things: achieve massive scale very quickly and lean hard on those other revenue streams we talked about. Advertising, premium AI features, those partnership deals like Netflix. Essentially, the low commission is a loss leader to acquire drivers and keep them loyal. The hope is they make up the margin on the other services and ads aimed at that big, active user base.
Requires deep pockets up front for that subsidy, though. But they don't stop there with incentives, do they?
No, the incentive programs look really strong. A weekly loyalty bonus up to R$2,000, it says here, for doing 100 trips a week, plus a 5-star service bonus, adding another 5% to earnings if they keep a 4.9 or higher rating.
Wow, okay, that's designed for maximum retention.
And then they help with operating costs, too. A fuel subsidy program, a data and airtime stipend, plus benefits like free insurance and even a vehicle lease-to-own option after a couple of years. You know, given how volatile fuel costs can be and the cost of vehicles, that's huge. Requires serious capital, though.
Definitely. It creates this powerful flywheel, doesn't it? Low commissions attract drivers, strong incentives keep them, which leads to better service reliability, which then pulls in more customers across all the different services. It locks drivers into the ecosystem.
Okay, quickly on the food delivery side, vendor management. Can't skimp on hygiene when you're scaling fast.
Absolutely not. And the vetting for food vendors is strict too. Starts with basics. Valid food business license, tax registration. Then there's a mandatory inspection, either by Ubuntu Go or a third-party checking cleanliness sanitation standards.
Right, and they mention mandatory tamper-evident packaging. That's crucial for deliver integrity. Plus, ongoing checks via customer ratings. Low scores mean coaching or potentially getting kicked off the platform, a full accountability loop.
Seems like it covers all the bases. So, finally, let's zoom out to segment 4. The innovation, the regional adaptation, the social impact piece. And again, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the strategy isn't one size fits all across Africa, is it? They tailor it.
They have to, right? The needs are so different. In Nigeria, for instance, the focus is really heavy on affordable, AI-optimized rides, especially in places like Lagos and Abuja. And they explicitly link that to boosting the informal economy, empowering drivers and small food
Right,
vendors.
whereas you look at South Africa, and the emphasis shifts much more towards those advanced safety features, the high security compliance we talked about earlier. Plus, adapting the multilingual AI support for all the different languages in those urban centers.
And Egypt, different challenge again. Complex traffic in Cairo, Alexandria.
Exactly. So there, it's about leveraging AI for really sophisticated traffic prediction and avoidance. And again, crucial multilingual support, specifically including Arabic, to make sure it's accessible.
So they're adapting locally, but also looking way ahead with R&D. What's on the horizon?
Well, they're talking about integrating IoT devices, Internet of Things for real-time vehicle diagnostics, even advanced theft prevention. And on the user side, exploring things like AR, augmented reality navigation aids, maybe even immersive VR entertainment inside the app during rides.
Okay, that's pretty futuristic. But the R&D section that really jumped out was the financial tech part, specifically the mention of blockchain technology.
Ah, yes. That's a potentially huge strategic signal. They seem to be exploring blockchain for, well, three main reasons. One, securing transactions. Two, increasing transparency, especially around payments to drivers and vendors. And three, implementing potentially innovative token-based loyalty and incentive programs.
Token-based loyalty, like crypto
The
tokens.
framework suggests that direction. It indicates they're not just trying to build a better Uber or Jumia. They might be aiming to fundamentally change the trust relationship between the platform, the drivers, the vendors, and the users.
So what does this all really mean when you pull it together? Ubuntu Go is trying to be more than just another app. It feels like they're positioning themselves as an essential piece of urban infrastructure. It's this unified